Oh my God, it's quite messy, ain't it? But so peaceful and beautiful over here, though. That's crazy. Don't start. Oh. Let's see. What am I going to do? Let's see if I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Fucking stalkers. They're going to learn. That's okay. They're going to learn. Not this one. I'm going to do something else. I'll be giving y'all all my time. All of my time. All of mine. Y'all don't owe me shit for it. I get paid, trust me. Ooh, I found another good video though. This is Black Education Network YouTube video YouTuber. Boy, hell no. Hold on.
Best value in power. Predator. Power through anything. Only at Harbor Freight.
When you find your true.
Oh my God. Hey, commercials. Oh.
Something to you that you don't like, your eyes will contract. But if you accept what they say, your eyes will dilate. So they're telling you,
oh yes, I feel so much
the
better.
body's giving signals and giving you messages, and they need to be read. And I think the Europeans tend to call this body language. There are basically only 7 faces in the world, actually. So these 7 faces are common wherever you go. That's why when you go places, you say, I know someone who looks exactly like you. And that's because there are only 7 faces.
Only
7 halls
faces
in the house of Osiris. 7-year cycle to the development of bones. All this has a scientific basis. And the trimesters also can be read, just as your prenatal and natal development inside your mother's womb can be read off the eyebrow. This is the first.
Oh, that's what I was supposed to be doing. Hold on, y'all. How do I do it? What's that? Hold on. And so y'all can see it, or just so y'all can see it. It's gonna make it a lot easier, but y'all can't hear it playing from the laptop when I'm on it live as well. So those are cute. She needs some milk. She needs some milk. Okay. This is what I'm gonna do. All right, let's see. Let's get this synchronized. I'm trying to screen share, so give me a moment. This right here. There we go. And we're going to share. Hello, everybody. Dang, what's up, y'all? What's up? Can you have a shout out? Are you subscribed? Or you just asked for a shout out? What's up? What's up? Let's see. I'm actually in the middle of an educational video. Back up just a little bit.
And the trimesters also can be read. This is
Oh, y'all gonna be able to see the video from my other. I don't know how that works. I'm live from my phone and I'm live from my laptop. So y'all have to go to the laptop live. Go to my lives first of all. And y'all be able to see the video in real time. I'm about to start playing it.
your prenatal and natal development inside your mother's womb can be read off the eyebrow. This is the first trimester, second trimester, third trimester. So if there was some sort of difficulty or nutritional weakness that was sustained or by you in the first trimester, it would show up in the eyebrows. The hair may be weaker, maybe thin there, of that sort, but it will always tell you when something is going on too wrong or wrong in your system. Now, then the tongue also gives you the same message. These are eyelashes. When they are pointing straight up, or curly, as the Europeans like to say, when they're pointing straight up, it indicates a weakness in the genital system, which is sometimes called your sex system. It means your sex organs are getting weak. So you can read the body from the hair, even on the eyelashes themselves. The nose, here, this part of the nose helps you know the condition of the heart. And this part of the nose helps you know the condition of the lungs.
Okay, cool. Y'all can see it on the live on the
part. If you got a lot of bumps here,
go to the channel
or
on the lives,
or the texture
and y'all should be able to see the video.
You're having digestive organ weaknesses, spleen, pancreas, stomach, liver, those organs. Just by reading the skin on the nose itself. And when the liver is usually having some problems, the person is usually very irritated. And when they're making too much bile because they're constipated and their digestive system is impacted, that person's the optic nerves will tend to swell. And that hampers your vision. And it makes you more susceptible to anger. The lips are the same. When we get to them, they're divided up the same way, but I'm not going to rush through this. Now, when we get to the eyebrows here, as I mentioned before, this downward curve is indicative of African people. It shows a strong capacity towards spirituality. It shows what they call a passive behavior in Europeans. But when the eyelashes curve inward like this, it shows a tendency toward violence, or towards aggression, or towards narrow-mindedness. You can read the state just by the eyebrows and the eyes itself. And when the eyes themselves, the eyeballs, as we call it, when they point toward the nose, that means the body is acidic. When the iris is pointing toward the nose, the body is acidic. Tending toward anger, when it's the iris or the colored part of your eye tends toward the external corner, that means the person is alkaline. That's what they call walled-eyed. So we can read that from the eyes itself. The colors in the eyes, when the eyes get bloodshot, as we call it, is not getting enough air. That shows a person is high on sugar or drugs or toxic matter. And when the white part of the eye is blue or purplish, that means the adrenal glands are overactive, which means you're in some kind of fight or flight.
Perfect, right? I hope so. So I remember somebody I used to watch, right? They used to say, wait a minute, I didn't hit it on this side. Oh, I didn't hit it on this side. Wait a minute. Wait. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, I gotta get them synchronized. Okay. Hopefully that's enough. So when they're high, shapeshifters will say, oh, well, I don't want to show you my eyes right now because you'll think I'm some type of monster. What could they be high off of? They could be high off like adrenochrome, your loose energy, right? Your energetic field. They could have just done some very toxic of getting high off of somebody else's energy, regardless of how that was and what way it happened. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna try to get these.
State. When it's very small purple there, that means you're eating a lot of salt. And when there's a lot of purple, there's a lot of sugar involved there, or drugs.
The challenges of freaking commercials, yo. I don't need any geniuses out there trying to track me by commercials either. Just know I set my due to stalking behavior, I set my phones to different timelines as opposed to where I actually am.
Next slide.
Okay.
Now we're getting more specific here. More specific in that how the face is related to the internal organs. As you can see, the upper part of the face is the bladder. Then you have the large intestines, and then the small intestines, and the liver is here. On the sides of the face here, and here you have the spleen. We're going doing all the digestive organs, as you can see. The spleen, the pancreas, the liver, small intestines, large intestines, bladder.
Bladder.
And that can be seen
large
in the eyes.
intestines.
The left eye is the spleen and pancreas.
Small intestines.
The person tends to have a lot of veins and discolorations. And this left eye indicates the condition of the spleen and pancreas. The right eye is the gall, bladder, and liver. And underneath of the eye is the kidney. That can indicate some things. When you have a soft bags or swelling under the eyes, that indicates a lot of liquids are being held in your body and you're having kidney problems. When there's discoloration in the lower part of the eyes, down here, if you look at the eyelids.
So echidna, remember, he's going to say at the end of this video how the gods and goddesses are all connected, interconnected within our body. And how that is the indication of your body being a temple, and how and why it is most important to take care of your body. Your body is a vessel in which you embody, is how your vessel will and should be taken care of, and how you will know what needs to be taken care of, how it needs to be taken care of, in which I went over this before, but we can definitely go over it again and actually learn some more intuitive nudges as to herbs as well. He goes over some herbs, so we're going to go a little bit of herbs that will also help you with these different types of things in your bodies of inflammation and discomfort, as well as pretty much how to heal it and how to get the mucus out of your body, right?
Pull them down, you see discoloration. It indicates a certain condition in the body. The lower eyelids, that would indicate kidney stones or kidney problems. And the upper eyelids would indicate gallbladder problems. Looking under the eyelids, inconsistent color. That means it's inconsistent behavior within the organ that's related to this eye. Spleen, pancreas, kidney, gallbladder, that sort of thing. Now, when we have these horizontal lines or vertical lines between the eyes, that indicates nerve problems. When you get these vertical lines here, right here, liver problems, nerve problems. So when this whole forehead sags down, you get a little sagging spot there. That indicates the same problem.
The sagging right here.
So the eyes and the face are telling you the story of what's going on, and we simply have to read it. It's constant reacting to your condition.
Mm-hmm.
You have a yellow color in the corner of your eyes, right here, like in the morning. It's too much dairy products. Yellow in the corner of the eyes, too much dairy. So we're trying to read the body signal of telling us what's going on wrong. That yellow, the yellow spots in the eye, liver problems. You have the yellow spots, they look soft, that's liver problems. When they're hard, that indicates worms. The yellow spots in the whites of the eyes I'm referring to. Just by reading the eyes themselves, it gives you a good indication of what's going on. Then you may have a sort of a spot at the end, like a gray spot at the end of a vein in the white part of your eyes. You can look in the mirror at your eyes yourself, or have someone else looking and say, well, you got a little vein, red vein with a spot at the end of it. That indicates a clot, a blockage of that organ. The yellow usually represents the liver, as I mentioned before. And the lower lashes, eyelashes themselves, represent the sex organs. When you have few lower lashes scattered, that means your sexual organ system is getting weak. Which is actually your generative system, which is actually a melanin-related response to regenerate your system. That means that you're not getting enough melanin to nourish your brain, so your brain capacity is getting weak, its ability to function. As I mentioned, that sharp slant.
Overusage of your sexual organs. This is why I also do teach as well about, sustaining abstinence, this is how people manifest, and what you manifest and how you use this this chakra it affects everything in your intentions. And he'll explain as well how that goes into the male's focus and intention in his part in doing the reproduction of another soul.
Upward slanted eyelashes indicates generative or pineal gland deficiency, or what the Europeans call sex organ deficiency. This is the eyes itself, and when they feel rather itchy, the eyes, that indicates lung problems. When you're blinking a lot, that's nerve problems. Just in the eyes itself, we're doing a reading of your health status. Here's the stomach on the nose, stomach. Then we have the heart, as I mentioned before, the tip of the nose, which is also the sex organs. Tip of the nose and the chin represents your sexual system. The bottom lip is the intestines. Small intestines is in the center, large intestines is at the end. Then you have the stomach right there, or the upper lip, as we mentioned before. So we can read the health status of your body just by looking at your lips. And as I mentioned before, when you have that downward turn of the mouth, that indicates a lot of dairy products. And you're having problems with your intestines. It means that it's kind of hard. You have thin lips, which is characteristic of Europeans. It represents weak internal organs and fragmented thinking, what they call left-mindedness. Thick lips represent a strong character. It represents a highly melanated person and a strong system with a strong constitution, which the Europeans would call passive, and where their thin lips are called aggressive, because they define the body to make themselves seem superior. That's what we have to keep in mind. When you have a shallow cleft, that's the area right here between your nose and your upper lip. This cleft part is where your face came together. And when it comes together softly, you have a shallow cleft. And when it comes together kind of forcefully, the cleft here is deeper. That cleft tells you something. A shallow cleft on the above the lip indicates your digestive system. May mean that it's not enough fluids but usually indicates weak generative, or what the Europeans would call a sex system is weak. Whereas a deep cleft represents a strong generative system and strong sexual system. Spots on the lip indicate the intestine may have some lesions in it. The skin is getting weak and may be tearing. And that's usually caused by constipation. Peeling of the lips indicates some digestive or small intestine problem. You can see it's related to intestine. When you're peeling there, intestines are not getting enough food or nourishment, so it pulls apart to create more surface area so it can get more nourishment. So the skin on the lip pulls apart and sloughs off, showing you the condition of your intestines. When a person keeps their mouth open a lot, it's because they're not only having problems with breathing, but they're having problems with expansion. Expansion. So they're trying to expand or create more energy in their system. That's what the lips indicated. As the face itself, the face is more vertical. That means that you have too much salt in your body, and your liver is weak, and you're eating too much animal products. Those are the vertical lines, up and down like that. The horizontal lines on the face indicate a lot of liquid, a lot of eating, and maybe some kidney problems, or chaotic behavior sort of thing. And pimples indicate a lot of dairy and worms and impurities trying to come out of your system. Yeah. That will be around here. That indicates your blood as well, your circulatory system. See, the lungs put air in the blood. That's why it represents the circulatory system. So bumps around here would indicate impurities in the blood, and the person would need some blood purifiers, such as red clover or chaparral or golden seal, herbs such as that. And someone having some difficulty with their heart would need some hawthorn berries to increase the blood perfusion to the heart. Around the sexual system, we'll probably need some juniper berries or yuva ursi to help out with that. If there's some liver problems, you may need some yarrow, dandelion, milk thistle, herbs of that nature. And the small intestines, you may need some more slimy kind of herbs to help wash it out. Some slippery elms, okra. You may need to help your bladder out by taking more melon kind of foods like watermelon, cantaloupe, melons to help flush out this bladder, to cleanse it. They're foods that help your body get well. Beets would also help with the blood and stabilize it. And as well as the calcium in carrots would help out. So by reading the skin itself for bumps and discoloration and rashes, it lets you know what is going on wrong inside of your body. Just as the hair does. When a person is balding in the back of their hair, that indicates a lot of synthetics such as drugs and chemicals, white sugar, bleached white flour, when you bald in the back of your head. When you bald on the top of your head, it indicates a lot of dairy and animal products such as that. And in front, when you bald, it represents these.
Why is that important? Why would they want eating a lot of animal products? It causes a lot of balding up here? Because, like I said, they are just like us in another form. This is why it's not good to eat animals, because they are just that. They are us in another form. They are another living, breathing, spiritual being, and we really should need them. Just as we were, cannibalized, and they still actually are cannibalizing us and having us cannibalize others. And that is the issue and the problem. That is a part of the sacrificial ritual that people participate in unknowingly, that they are participating in the unalignment of an animal, in the sacrifice of an animal, and eating that animal. That's why it's not good, because it breaks down your body as well. Remember what you ingest, how people die. Like we said, going back to the video we did last night, how you die in guilt and regret, you come back as in a form to be pulled and sucked back into this virtual reality of this realm to break karmic cycles. So until we start to break, and everybody starts to break these karmic cycles, this is how, these souls are reincarnated and come back, and they don't want you to know that, to break these karmic cycles, because they want to keep feeding off of your luge, keep feeding off of your energy, your essence, your adrenochrome. They want to keep feeding off of that. That's also why they have abortion clinics. So it's like, it's a toxic cycle of how they do ritualistic sacrifices without you being aware of them.
Organs right here, the intestines and bladder, urinary excretory system is weak, so you ball there first. The body is telling you what's going on wrong, it's just a matter of reading it. But all this information was known to us when we came from the southern part of Africa and went up to Egypt or Ethiopia, and then went across over to the coast there, Sierra Leone and Congo, Gambia, and all of that. We took this information with us, but it was never lost to us. It was lost to these people who came.
By the way, they did just release Tarzan. So Tarzan is on my movie night 3. You guys can go check out that playlist. And this is the Tarzan. Remember, Americans, the indigenous Americans, they depict, no offense to anybody, but the white man as them, but it's really you. This is supposed to be your inner connection and your connection to nature, as a protective role, a gatekeeper, and things of this nature. Okay.
To Africa, the Europeans with their story about their invasion, which they call his story or history of Africa, where they deliberately leave out the nutrition, which was the foundation for our civilization, is what nourished us, what nourished our families.
Which is the reason why they kept it out of his story. They did not want us to know our roots and really how to nurture and take care of ourselves. What was the secret to our youth in our connection to source, our higher selves, God, the universe? They did not want others to do that, so they had to rewrite history, not only ours but theirs as well. This is why when Dump Truck came into office, he did not focus on the nourishment values, because he wants to keep the people dumbed down. But not only does he want to keep the people dumbed down, he wants to attack the physical vessel. So if you're steady trying to be in survival mode and protect your vital organs without really protecting your vital organs, that is the way of them keeping you in survival mode and easy for you to control. You, your children, your family, loved ones, people you don't know, people that you do know of. So it's all a part of their entrapment in their programming.
Architects, engineers, mathematicians, nutritionists, doctors, musicians, family structure itself, fathers, grandfathers, mothers, grandmothers. It nourished us and built the empire and built our relationships with each other, with God, and with nature.
Mm-hmm.
We had a strong nutritional foundation and history and legacy that we carried with us, and we are about recapturing that by reading our body properly. We know that there are many books on this subject. As you can see, we have the serpent or the medical symbol kind of outlined here to let you know about that. The pineal, eye of Peru is at the top, and each crossing of the serpent is a crossing of the nervous system. And each one of these melanated centers has a certain symbol to it. It's
each one of your chakras.
Of regenerating your system. As you may know, a child has a sexual system when it's born, but it's using that energy to generate itself, to grow its arms and legs and hair. So it's mostly a generative process for the sexual system until a child reaches what they call puberty, when the energy from the sexual centers turn toward reproduction. But the sexual energy is with you at birth. It's just given different usages as you change in your cycle or rites of passage.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have this information given to us by the so-called medical symbol, the correct flow of energy and how to read it. So when you're having a rash in this part,
and that's the reason why they really don't. Why the attack is on the child, on the mother, because they know if they can keep that mother in many different cloaks and coverings and not being aware of the energy that they hold and that they have at that time. That root chakra energy is very powerful in its manifestation in that state. And this is how, the male energy was birthed into this universe through the feminine energy. She could use it for reproduction. So she used that to create a whole nother being and pretty much split a part of herself and birthed him into existence. This is why the feminine energy is so important. And this is why they want to covenant in a type of way of not letting it be known and aware of its own power and energy. Because its creator can also bring it back into itself and healing, um, and to become one. This reproductive, this root chakra energy, and how when you're a baby inside your mother, you use that chakra to reproduce and create all of your organs, your internal organs, and then your outside features in your eyes, your nose, your mouth, and your fingers and your hands. That's what that chakra is creating within the womb of that mother.
it's also related to this aspect of your pineal gland. This person would need more of a color purple or orange. It's a complementary pair. So when you're getting problems in this area of your body, you're having problems with this area of your pineal gland's ability to produce certain qualities of melanin. There's various qualities of melanin for each one of these so-called chakra, which are melanated centers.
This thing is always doing something I didn't even ask it to do. That's what's crazy. So
when we get an illness in those areas, it points to an illness or deficiency in our ability to create melanin, which is done didactically by using a lot of tropical fruits and plants. Your millet, your kush, your asparagus, your in the green side there, and also your sweet fruits such as your persimmons, your strawberries, your papayas, your mangoes. All of these have enzymes in them, hormones, which stimulates the hormone production of your pineal.
God dang it. Hold up. Fat finger.
Hormones, which stimulate the hormone production of your pineal gland to help you keep the right rhythm. And when you have a rash or in these areas, it's a rhythm illness. You see, it's a rhythm illness. They all connect to the showing you the rhythm illness related to it. This is the pyramid position, which causes the static electricity to produce in these melanin centers, which is generated by deep breathing, which is a form of energy that goes into your body. Now, as I mentioned before, this is a larger drawing, so we can get more specific for you. Being more conscious that your lungs are here, and knowing that bumps and rashes, white heads, black heads, and those worms that are pushing up against the skin
That's why people pinch your cheeks. That's where your breathing is. Your lungs are associated with the cheeks. Amazing. Really amazing.
Itself, letting you know that you need to clean your lungs. There are herbs that help you clean your lungs. Elecampane, pleuroseed, to name just two. Then there's mullein, then there's ginkgo. There are many respiratory herbs for you to help you cleanse your lungs and get the right amount of air into your system. Most of the illnesses are related to the inability of the body to get the proper nourishment out of the food. So a person would have these chapped lips at the corner of their mouth, duodenum them, or we get those little cold sores and styes and blisters, as indicating digestive problems. So we know we have to speed up the transit time, eat more raw, uncooked, slightly steamed vegetables and raw fruits to help our digestive system regenerate itself. The body's giving all the signals to you. When you have those bags under your eyes, darkness, the blood is stagnating, it's not enough air, there's still impurities in the kidney, they're trying to get out, so you get these bags.
So in spirituality, they say watch out for people that have the dark around their eye, like really dark and really dark pigment around their eyes. Pay attention to the reason why they're having trouble with these different organs for a reason.
Bags under your eyes. And then you get a larger bag, a sagging line under here, a crease indicating a person is constipated. That shows your large intestines is having problems. The body is constantly pointing to the problems that are wrong in your system. It's a matter of and then taking action. These are predictive kind of diagnosis. White hair here, plenty of it here, and maybe some damage to the spleen. You need to do things to help your spleen along with some orange and yellow foods to help your spleen.
Orange and yellow. Yeah, I'm trying to see. Oh, shit, it's still going.
Eating plenty of them. Yellow would be bananas or plantain. Just think tropical and eat plenty of tropical fruits and vegetables and get away from the bleached white flour, the white rice, the white sugar, and the white salt. Those white things are bad for you. If it doesn't have any smell, and if it doesn't look like food, it isn't food. And it isn't healthy for you. So you need to stay away from white things to help your body be healthy. White ways of thinking, white ways of eating, and those go against your melanin production because the white diet is an anti-melanin diet. It's against the rhythmicity of the body. It's whiting out whatever blackness you have. So we need to sustain our health, and we need to get back to the system of reading, the self-diagnosis, putting
Reading
your
the body
health in your hands and taking back to the Afrocentric way of looking at your body. You see, the ear here is in a balanced state. When the ear is away from the body, that's chaotic and it shows imbalance. But when it's against the face like this, it indicates balance. It indicates a melanated person. And when the ears are able to wiggle, it indicates a propensity toward violence, detachment, analytical thinking, that sort of thing. A weakness in the brain function, which is inferiority. That's why you find gorillas and those animals and Europeans, white people as you call them, who can wiggle their ears because they haven't created enough melanin to cause the ears to be against the face like this and in a balanced condition. So they are more or less lower on the animal chain of development. Nonetheless, this is a handy tool and it's always in your face because this is your face. And that's why our ancestors used certain herbs to nourish their health on these meridians. They would put clover. They want to cleanse them of some red clover on their cheek, and so they would have red cheeks. Remembering that makeup was non-sexual. Men and women wore makeup in Africa. The Europeans made it a sexual thing, and the women wore the makeup just to indicate fertility or sexual availability.
The devil created. How many times have we heard this? The devil created ways of deception.
And the men stopped wearing makeup, but then European men even wore makeup themselves. Makeup is men and women in African culture, so is dresses or gowns. The sexism is a tool of European society used to divide and conquer, using to divide the man from the woman. Clothes were basically what they call unisexual. Makeup was unisexual, but today they are sex related to keep the two sexes divided so the European man can maintain a superior position, inferiorizes women. So we copy their behavior and we inferiorize black women, inferiorize ourselves, and inferiorize our culture. So we're getting back into reading our body and understanding that the body is constantly giving you signals as to what's going on wrong or what you're doing in excess or what you're doing too little of. On the back, if a person would have tightness here, kind of stiff shoulders, that indicates stiffness in the intestines itself. Our intestines is in a spasm state due to a calcium deficiency or inability to sustain the calcium level of the skin by melanin and vitamin D. So you know they need vitamin D, you know they need to get back to raw food, and you know they need to deep breathe so they can get enough relaxation. Or you find a person that will have a rash, so a lot of lungs are impure. They need to do things to purify their lungs.
In the back.
Taking such herbs as I mentioned before, as elecampane, pleurisy, mullein, for example, or ginkgo is another example. Something to relax the lungs, histidine, amino acid, something to stimulate the thymus gland to protect the lungs. That will be arginine, which is another amino acid. And red clover is also good for the lungs.
Red clover.
So when there's a soreness here, that indicates the condition of the small intestines. We know the small intestines is where we absorb nutrients in our body. So we have a nutritional deficiency, a state of malnutrition when we have rashes here, tenseness here, soreness here. The body is simply giving you these signals from your eyes to your face, and now it's resorting to your back. Here's a person that's having some heart problems. That would be inconsistency of skin color here, rashes here, bumps here, soreness here. Also here, that if you have the same kind of condition, that would indicate some stomach problems. Then we have the spleen here and the liver here. Remember, the liver is basically the largest organ on the right side of the body, where all the other organs are on the left side. As you can see, the spleen and the pancreas all on this side. So the body is telling you what's going on. Here's your large intestines. Back to the European race with their flat behind. And you notice that 90% of their illnesses are intestinal weaknesses, digestive related weaknesses, and they have this flat behind and this flatness here on their sex organs because they have a lot of problems with their sexual system. They're the only race in recorded history to have venereal diseases of all sorts, from gonorrhea to syphilis to so-called AIDS, and many diseases where their reproductive system is basically failing. And their digestive system is failing. That's why they have colitis, diverticulitis, ulcers, a host of digestive diseases, diabetes mellitus, a pancreas disease, liver diseases, all of which is the inability of the digestive system to sustain life. So it's indicated by their flat behind. But if you have a rash here, a soreness here, bumps here, stiffness here, pain here, you're having problems with your large intestines, which is also related to this point spot on your arm here, your outer part of your arm. Then we get down to the liver, which is indicated by the back of your knees. You can have veins here that are very dark purple, which indicates you're not getting enough air and nutrients to your liver. The veins also can be here, which they would call varicose veins. They don't fall anywhere on the body. Everything follows laws. So you would have varicosity, varicose veins in those particular sections of your body that are weak, that are having problems. That's what the rashes indicate. The bumps indicate, scratches indicate where a person is constantly scratching the back of their leg, always rubbing on their shoulder, scratching their shoulders. This indicates that they're trying to put some acupressure on these points. Always scratching the back of their hip or putting their hands here all the time. You see this kind of motion, this addictive behavioral motion that people have, which are pointing to the areas of their bodies which are weak. This is the doctrine of signatures. It's written on your body what is wrong. It's just being in a position to see it clearly. To a person of any sort of perception, everything is transparent. There's no secrets. All you need is the tools to see with. You need to put on your self-diagnosis glasses so you can see the body for what it is. The body is a messenger. It's a message from God to you to uplift your spirit. That's what the body is for, to help you uplift yourself. That's why it is treated as a temple and defined as a temple. The muscles are given names of gods and goddesses, so we can reinforce that in ourselves, that our body is our living temple and should be treated that way. The aspect of the body known as the great symbol of Solomon, letting you know that you have an expansive part, which is sometimes called yin, and a contracted part, which is called yang, or in African medicine, it's the male and female attribute, or the mind and the spirit combined together, which they use.
This mother Fletcher ain't even touch it. Definitely didn't touch it twice. Hold on. Damn it, I keep forgetting. All right. Now we're back on track. What the? All right. Now we're back on track.
Again, when we do these kind of analysis or readings of the body, they are element. And some of our ancient healers use the spiritual element to indicate
Can't
the
really see
disease
it.
and indicate the healing or remedies that they wanted to resort to. So they will see upper organs,
But he's going to explain it.
lungs and thyroid and bronchi and heart as a problem, ability to direct your spirit, to make it go in the direction you want it to go, direct your spirit intelligence, to contact your spirit in it, your pure energy. That's how they would see it. They would see it as a direct blockage of conflict with your ability to direct your spirit in any position you want it to be in. Pure energy. That's how they would see it. They would see it as a direct block to direct your spirit in any position you want it to be in, which sometimes is called freewheeling, free will of the spirit. And those healers who are spiritually motivated, their language is the language of spirit. And another healer's language is the language of the so-called anatomy or physiology of the body, which all of these names, the lungs and the bronchi and heart, are spiritual names. Another healer would read that illness as an element and call it, you're having problems with your fire. Fire. your generative system, your sight, which fire comes in, the sun comes in, your eyes, so your sight is part of your fire element. And they would read it that way, and they would use fire herbs to treat that illness. Something that has yellow in it, like dandelion, you see, or yarrow, they would use those yellow type of herbs, or marigold kind of plants to treat the fire element. It also indicates a problem in the third trimester of your growth and development, when you were a unified, undifferentiated mass called an egg. That indicates that maybe your father was not putting enough of his energy in your development in the embryonic state, being a partner in the trimester, which is a rite of passage for the man to go through when you are being.
Exactly what he's explaining. The man's part in the after the conception of the development of the egg is this part, is what he's explaining.
Not putting enough of his energy in your development in the embryonic state, being a partner in rites of passage for the man to go through when you are being born. As a woman is going through the trimesters, he's going through his 3 rites of passage of his development, because each time a child is born to him, it elevates him into a spiritual phase of his life. He cannot enter this other phase now. And this is
why maturity is so important. He can't enter the phase of his development unless he is there for the child, and at least making sure that the development of that part is going smoothly as possible. Okay.
part of the man's rites of passage, which is a very spiritual kind of growth and development for the man. And his diet thinking process should change accordingly, according to the trimester that his. So the illnesses can be read spiritually. Say, for instance, someone is having problems with their kidneys. We would say that they are having problems directing their spirit in light. That means moving the body as a spirit. You say, my spirit is picking up this pointer. That's when a person thinks spiritually, whereas a person who thinks with their body says, my hand is picking up this pen. That is why the word this is used. This means by the will of God. So you say this is a pointer. By the will of God, this is a pointer. This means by the will of God or spirit. This pointer, the will of God is in this pointer. That's what it means. And the word this complements that attribute of God. That's why the word this was used. Nonetheless, when a person is having problems with their kidney or spleen, they're having problems directing their body as a spirit and not seeing plants and animals as spirits themselves in a big harmony with you as a spirit. And that also can indicate that there's some spiritual problems with their adrenals or kidneys, the ability to protect their spirit. So a person having problems with their kidneys, which your adrenal glands are on top of, is having problems defending their spirit. They are under a spiritual attack. Mentalistically, in the mind thinking process, a person having problems with their kidney, pancreas, or spleen, or liver is not able to segregate thoughts well. By segregating them, they put this thought belongs to this thought. All the shoes belong together. All the chairs belong together. But they all work together as one. That's being able to synthesize reality, see the relationship of all things with one thing. God is in everything and everything is in God, kind of.
So that's interesting. In the decipherment of the kidneys being affected, your clutter of the mind, the cleanliness of your home, your kidneys, your feminine energy, the filter of life itself for real, externally and internally affects the organization, um, the overall well-being of how things are organized and ran.
ideation. Then you get into the spirit category of form, how to create things. Everything is created out of spirit, the earth, the air, the fire. So the person is having problems in creating matter and directing the smaller matter as a spirit. And they're also having problems with their congregation of thoughts and the so-called European primitive instincts. And the problem is in their bladder and rectum and in small intestines in the anatomical sense. But nonetheless, a spiritual, holistic way of looking at life is also a language to help you elevate yourself and be more healthy. And to read an illness. You can read an illness either as an element, fire, air, water, and earth, or you can read a state of health as spirit, soul, spirit, life, spirit, form, spirit, and physical spirit. Or you can read a state of dis-ease or ease mentally, upper thinking, middle thinking, lower thinking. Or you can read a state of health according to what is wrong with the organ. If there's something wrong with the bladder, it'll be something wrong with the congregation of thought, something wrong with the way you form spirit, the form of earth, air, fire, water. There's something wrong with your water system. We go right across when there's something wrong with your bladder, something wrong with your water element. That's the abdomen, circulatory system, blood, and all that. So you will cleanse the blood also. And that would indicate that a person has some difficulty in the third trimester of their development. If you want to get into the Trinity, the triune self, the thinker, the knower, and the doer development. All the knower is supposed to do is know. Then you have to think about it. Then you have to do. You do, you think, you know. That's the triune self. That kind of.
That is the ultimate way of prayer. That is what they say. They call prayer, but they don't know what actual prayer is. And a lot of people are moving into not just, oh, we'll pray about it and it'll be okay. No, I need to think it and act on it and, do my own manifestation in my life. And I can will it into existence. The you are the action.
Development may have some problems. With your way of diagnosing an illness, or you can be as simplistic as you like. The main thrust of it all is to keep your body healthy and in balance. And reading the system, a self-diagnostic technique, or style or approach. Use either. The main objective is to balance the body.
Let's see. Oh. I'm fighting with commercials. I'm fighting with commercials. I'm fighting with commercials. Okay, let's see.
As I mentioned before, the body is telling you what's wrong for being the message. By putting 2 pounds of pressure on any of these areas, if you're a woman, up to 5 pounds if you're a man. Okay. And if you feel sore or a little pain right here after putting 2 pounds of pressure, that's the same amount of pressure you need to put a stamp on a letter. That means you have some impurities or problems with your lungs. You put that same amount of pressure on your kidney and it feels sore or gives you a little pain, then you're having some kidney problems. This is known as acupressure. The same thing can be done with stone needles as the Kemites did in 3500 BC when they introduced the so-called acupuncture system. And of course, the reproductive organs, the gonads, ovaries, and testes are here, and the prostate or uterus is here, below the wrist. Discoloration, rashes, bruises, scratching, bumps, scars on those areas indicate some kind of weakness there. Some more nutritional balance. These tools are right in your hands. Also, the feet are an indicator of the same thing. It's just a matter of reading it. The information is there and quite clear. It's a matter of reading it. Excuse me. Which is another circulatory system of a kind of white clear-like fluid that goes all through your body. That's indicated by the between your toes. The person's having problems with fungus, which they call athlete's foot. The lymphatics is supposed to get rid of those impurities for you, capture and drain them out, but the person is not doing that. So the feet are trying to indicate a problem. A soreness here indicates problems with the breast, the glands again. So you would need something to help the glands, an echinacea perhaps. But the feet are giving you the same message as your hands, as your eyes, as your eyebrows, your eyelashes, your tongue. It's just a matter of which one you want to use to interpret the message and tell you what's going on. This is a little clearer with less writing.
Bottom of the foot.
And this is the lungs and heart here.
Lungs and
then
heart
we have
here.
the thyroid here.
Thyroid here.
The adrenals are sitting on top of the kidney. That's there. And the tube going down to the bladders here. And intestines here.
Cross to the dead man.
You have your fallopian tubes and limbs here, and the prostrate here, and
right
back
before
of the
the
ankle
heel.
bone.
In the back
just
of the ankle.
Just a matter of reading it for discolorations and consistency of color, bumps, bruises, scars, a tendency to scratch that part, or to put pressure on it with your hands a lot. In the case of this, an imbalanced state there. Just a matter of reading it. And go into the right herbs or supplements or exercising system, be it passive or active exercising system to perfect a cure. The word cure is used in African health, whereas the word treatment is used in European health systems. We cure illnesses. We cure diseases. We think positive. We use that aspect of God. Usually, because of the process of phosphate food, bleached white flour and its pastries and noodles, spaghetti, cakes, ice cream, all these bleached white flour and white sugar products causes havoc on. That's where the problem is, causes this constipation. And when the colon is maltreated because the diet is malnourished, malnutrition is sometimes collapsed and crenates. In this area, which is related to your middle part of your body, as we
the middle part of your
before,
intestine,
and it's related to the lower part of your body, middle part and upper part. That's why you have the sign, because this is the upper
large
part of your body.
intestines.
This is the middle part. This is the lower part. And any kind of inconsistency in the structure here indicates inconsistency in that corresponding system right here. With all this going on, this in-pocketing, which robs your body of folic acid. This right here, this pocketing out, takes away your folic acid. It also indicates kidney problems because it's kind of crenated, collapse. This is prolapse. And so your blood pressure is not consistent. It's low because this area here absorbs the nutrients out, reabsorbs them so the body can get more nutrients in the blood to feed your system, which they call electricity. Positive and negatively charged minerals, which gives rhythm to the body, rhythmicity. So usually when a person goes into a European hospital, the first thing they do is hang a bag of sugar and water, which they call electrolytes, to put some electricity in the body to get back some rhythm, because you're having a disorder of rhythmicity. So they give you these electrolytes, which they call Gatorade when you take it in the
what also helps with electrolytes, putting electricity back in the body, grounding, hugging the tree. Electricity runs through trees. You can YouTube that and find the videos of people that are getting free electricity from the trees. Confirmation. Water also holds electricity, particularly ice water, which is amazing. I'm going to show y'all a video too of me banging together 2 bottles and the electricity that you can see from it that lights and glows up when they connect.
Junk food form, which is mostly just salt. So electricity in the system to get some charge going, to get some rhythm going, because it's basically a rhythm disorder.
And this is also a reason why it's important to drink a lot of water, because in that water, that electricity that goes in to your digestive system also helps your intestines move and digest and move that out of your system so you can have a proper BM, bowel movement.
Each one of these sections here has a particular rhythm that it pulls on, because each one of these sections has melanated centers and produces a certain rhythm, a certain color, a certain musical note. So any inconsistency of shape in the colon or large intestines indicates an illness to that related spot.
Ooh. Keep forgetting how they're connected.
It's an illness to that related spot. And this is how a healthy colon should look. And each area here that's pointed to is specific. Feeds that organ section. This feeds the stomach, this the lungs and bronchi, this the heart, the gallbladder, the liver, the parathyroid. The calcium is reabsorbed in the system from here. Each one of these sections here is related to your organs inside, and acupuncture and other sciences have validated this. So we know what's going on wrong in the body. We know that so when you see a rash and a hot spot on your hand or pain there, you know that that part of your colon is not functioning properly as well. So you need to cleanse your colon with some sort of slimy food, such as okra or slippery elm. And also, those people have the talent can read an aura and tell you the same illness that the hands and the eyes can, the aura itself. That's a sort of electronic or electromagnetic cloud around the body, a hologram, as one would call it. And you can practice reading the aura by having a person sit in front of a white wall, and you stare at them, and then you close your eyes and have them move, and open your eyes and look at that spot that they were sitting in. You should see a color, and that color indicates the aura. And by that way, or you can practice auras with colors. You can just put red, stare at it, and then have someone remove the red paper, and then you should see the color complement. If you have a failure seeing the complement, then you have a failure with your female attribute of your system. Therefore, you're not using your spirituality to its highest esteem or highest portion. So you need to breathe deeper, blink at the sun to stimulate your pineal gland, and alter your diet accordingly. You see that you're having a weakness with the red element, so you would need to eat some red beets and things that possess red, such as red grapes. And those red foods, red pears, so you know the color you need to put in your system, or you can use that nutritional language that the Europeans like to flip around and use, or you can use color.
I literally forgot about red pears. Red pears are absolutely a good fruit to use as well, other than tomatoes and beets.
You can heal your body by using color, by using music, by using crystals, by using magnets, by using spirituality. It's according to which category you have the talent in. A talent is merely a gift given to you by God that you cannot deny. If you deny it, you become ill.
Tuning forks. This is why it's good to get tuning forks. Damn, I need to put that on my to-get list. Tuning forks. I've been praying to God that I get me some tuning forks and singing bowls, because I need it. I need it in my life. I want it in my life.
As I mentioned before, we can use the feet to diagnose a disease or illness. All we're doing is putting the power of treating your body back in your hands. It doesn't mean that everyone is a treatment person. It's just that you now have the language and have understanding of it, so you can teach children how to do this.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't do it, teach someone else who can do it.
Yes.
At least expose them to it.
Exactly.
This is for the benefit of our children. Some of us have long since lost our talents. We have burnt out our brains and burned out smoking marijuana and other drugs and alcohol. Some of us have damaged our spirituality and brain to a point where we can no longer turn back to those things to help uplift us. All of us cannot be saved, but some of us can, and we should help those who can to save themselves and save us as well.
Yes.
Nonetheless, I'm trying to expose you to some more tools to be healthy, some more tools to be more Afrocentric in your approach, to see yourself as a whole person, a body, mind, and spirit, and lift yourself. These tools are given to you. They're written on your hands. They're written on your teeth, your lips, your tongue, your hair, in your eyes, your skin. All we need to do is read them and get back to the foods that our ancestors ate. Get back to those whole foods, whole rice, whole flours, whole wheat, oats, millet, and fruits, and plenty of raw vegetables, steamed very lightly, not overcooked, and not salted, which robs our bodies of potassium and can trigger hypoglycemic reactions. So we need to get away from cravings per se and use some glutamine to stop those cravings for those junk foods. Glutamine, sometimes called glutamic acid, as well as quassia, Quassia, which is another herb to help crave. You may need to take all three, you may need to take one, but nonetheless, there are nutritional tools at hand to help us be healthy. First of all, we have to change the diet and get away from these European foods because they're killing us, they're anti-melanated, and they degenerate our system. That's why they have so many drugstores. It's the Europeans that are sick. They have the drugstores for them. We're simply an accident in the situation. They have hospitals for them. The nutritional status is based on them. The chemicals are based on them. The colors in film is based on them. So we have to get away from all that and use a system that's based on us, based on the fact that we're the most melanated race on this planet. And we know that that is the key to our defense, the key to our spirituality, the key to our mentality, and the key to our health, proper stimulation and feeding of our pineal gland. These are just a few techniques that you can use for self-diagnosis. I hope you search further and get more interested in it and read more books on it and become more health-minded and more holistic-minded, which means more African, remembering that we are human beings. The word "hue" means black and "man" means thinking. We are human beings. We are black thinking people. We are humans. We are not after civil rights. We're after human rights. Hue means black. Man means thinking, black thinking. We have to get back to our humanness through our diet and through the proper use of food and nutrients for African people. So self-diagnose yourself. Practice. Get in the mirror. Practice. Look. Practice on others. Practice on yourself. Practice. And get more in the practice of being Afrocentric. I thank you.
So that is the goal. That is the reason why. And we are coming full circle again and again and again and again. And why it is so important for our children to understand themselves and us. And also to understand, people that are not melanated, to understand why they are so deficient in their immune system and so prone to these diseases. It's because of the eradication of the human, the human with melanin genetics. So now you will more understand what you need and why you need these more important herbs and fruits and vegetables and essences and oils and remedies that can be used to heal the different variations of mucus built up in the body to detox yourself, and why you have rashes, bumps, or bruises, and or low immunity to being susceptible to diseases. Like I said, do your own research first and foremost, and get your blood tested to know what you're deficient in, so you can then work on yourself holistically boosting your immune system. And that's going to be it for now. And I will come back later and we will do another video. Yo, do your own research. And we're going to talk about the water and the ice and electricity. What I really think they're doing, like, I believe they built the ice wall to put a form of electrical barrier, a force field in order to carry out some type of vibrational disruption, of course, right? And then they put up the 5G towers. So then they can amplify, trying to block off the signal from God, and then also distort you from being connected and getting the information. And you know what I mean? Just like the algorithm. They don't want you to beat the algorithm in what they're trying to perform and do, as opposed to suppression of you and many others. So keep that in mind at all times. And we're also, let me see, we're going to go over astrological placements in the video later on today. And I'm going to see how I'm going to set up a video camera so hopefully you guys can see how to, when I clean those bottles of frozen water together, how the electrical pulses are shown. But we're going to get it together. But also, do not forget, in the previous videos from the past week, I want to say week and a half, late November, that there are 2 different topics of being able to win money for research studies on. So don't forget that. We're going to do that when it's ready and available after we get over 500 subscribers and get some donations and money going for this channel for people to be able to win. You know what I mean? Research and studies, and what conclusions did you come up with? There's no wrong answer. There's nothing stupid. There's nothing wrong with whatever you come up with. We just want to be, of course, at all times respectful, but also, doing your due diligence in what you come up with. Okay? All right. Be encouraged. Don't never be discouraged. If you are, it's not forever. It's only temporary. And feeling, self-empowerment. We are all on some type of level of stupidity. Nobody's perfect. If that was the case, then we wouldn't be here. So, keep that in mind and just do your best. That's all we ask for. All right. Be great. Love you guys. Do your research. And I will definitely check in on you guys a little bit later, and make sure you do your self-love, self-care, and encouragement. Teach yourself, teach your children, teach a stranger, teach somebody. Like you said, this is very important for all creeds and colors and kinds and beings to be aware of how important it is for healing, to be not only observed, but also accomplished within self. Self-affirmation, self-love, self-encouragement. Never forget that. Don't give up, because it's too damn easy. And we love you. I love you here, forever and always. And, it is what it is. Be great. Oh.